I just want to say a huge thank you to the sponsor of this video, SQUARESPACE. They've really helped me during my journey as a content creator.
Dear Barcelona, it's been a while since I last saw you, and even longer since I walked your streets. But you're still the place where it all started for me. A great chunk of my youth lies between the time I came to live here 10 years ago, desperate to live out my student years in a Spanish dream of afternoon siestas and endless tapas. And now, a decade later, I've returned to the city that I used to call home. You were the catalyst for my yearning to explore the world, but I had to come back and see what's changed. I want to retrace my steps, live out old memories, savour the flavours of the past and the present, and maybe even revisit my former self.
This is the Gothic Quarter. It's at the heart of Barcelona in the old town. Like over the last decade or so, it's really been kind of ravaged by mass tourism, but it's still a really kind of romantic and beautiful place to just walk around the little streets and get lost. So much history. This is where I lived in Barcelona. It just makes me really nostalgic being back here. These are the streets I used to walk around for a whole year, and it still feels like home, like I know it like the back of my hand. It makes me happy to be back here. One of the things I really loved about the old town is that you could just be walking here, for example, loads of tourists everywhere, craziness around you, and then you just kind of go off into the little side streets in the old centre and you just get totally lost in them. And that's what it was about. It was about finding these hidden corners of the city and learning the story behind them. This is a great example of one of those places. This is Plaza Neri. So you can still see the pockmarks on the wall of the church from where the bomb was dropped during Franco's fascist era in 1938, killing 42 people, most of them children. And it's ironic because now you'll see children from exactly the same schools still playing football every day. But it's these hidden corners of the city where you learn about these stories. This is another one of my favourite plazas of the old quarter. This is Plaza del Rey, which is the King's Plaza. And the amazing story behind this square in particular is the stairs in the corner. Historians say that this is where Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand received Christopher Columbus when he first returned from the first voyage that he did, and he told them that he'd found a new world. So just imagining the scene that would have taken place on this spot right here is what really brings to life these secret corners of the Gothic Quarter for me. This square is Plaça Sant Jaume, and it's where the national government buildings are, the Generalitat Catalana, so the Catalan government. And I just remember when I was here, a lot of the times when I walked through, there'd be people protesting for independence because they've always had to fight for their independence. I mean, Catalonia as a nation state existed like 1,000 years ago. So they have their own culture, their own heritage, their own language, and they're really proud of that. And that really, really comes across in the culture of the Catalan people.
Mercado Boqueria, you've lived many lives. A millennia ago, you were a few humble tables, set up just outside the city walls. Your main fare was meat, your clientele hungry medieval folk. You've fed Barcelona ever since, while Columbus sailed the ocean blue, during the Inquisition, the Spanish Civil War, the Franco dictatorship. You helped shape Catalan cuisine into one of the most sophisticated regional cuisines in Europe. Today, you face another challenge, mass tourism. Raw produce has given way to liquefied fruit, slices of moist jamón to pork on a stick, and your clientele are now hungry for the most Instagrammable stall. Can you still hold on to your centuries-old charm?
This place does a really amazing breakfast. One of the most incredible dishes that they make here, which is huevos con chipirrones, so that's baby squid with eggs, and that's like their best dish, I'd say. My God, this takes me back so much. Huevos con chipirrones, it was my favorite. Honestly, like mixing baby squid with eggs is delicious, and I love the fact that they put chili in it, so it's got a bit of kick to it. ¿Cuántos años ha estado abierto este?
Llevo 35 años
35 años.
aquí en el mercado.
Y ha crecido, ¿no? Porque en 2010, cuando vine acá,
Sí.
era más pequeño, ¿no? Todavía.
Empecé, era una barra pequeñita de 3 metros con 5 taburetes.
Ah, wow. Toda la comida que está preparado está usando como el producto del mercado, ¿no?
Cada día se compra, se regenera todo el producto y cocina hecha al momento.
Sí, es mejor, ¿no? Porque es como sale más fresco.
A mí es como más me gusta, por eso es lo que hago.
Exactamente, ¿no? Sí.
Pues disfruta.
Muchas gracias. I just feel like it's so nice to come back here, have breakfast like I used to. Just makes me feel so happy that, you know, this place is still here, it's still going strong, and even though things are changing and the market's changing, it just feels so familiar. When I got started with content creation, I knew I needed to build a really strong brand for myself. One of the things I wanted to do was create an amazing website that people could come to and learn about the channel and about me. It was a really daunting task at first because I have absolutely no prior experience with building websites, and that's when I came across Squarespace. Squarespace has absolutely beautiful mobile compatible website templates, and they're really easy to customize. So you can pick things like the color of your brand, you can upload brand images, you can choose the font. Essentially, you can customize it to really represent what you're all about. It's really easy to build a stunning website which really shows off your USP. There's no third-party branding, and it doesn't rely on hosting from social media websites, which can be unreliable. So I'd really recommend that you check them out. And then once you're ready to launch your domain or your website, you can go to squarespace.com/MelliniAngelica, and you'll get 10% off your first domain or website using the code MelliniAngelica. This is Elborn, which is next to the Gothic Quarter in the Old Town. I always preferred it because it's just a bit more chilled out, the streets are wider, there are less tourists, and this is where one of my favourite cathedrals in Barcelona is, so the Santa Maria del Mar, which is here. It's absolutely beautiful. Like, I always really loved it because it's the only cathedral which is a true example of pure Catalan Gothic architecture. It took half a century to build, and with the other cathedrals in Barcelona, most of them took more than a century, which means the architectural styles vary. And what I love about this one, I used to just walk in and it's just amazing because they've got the most incredible stained glass windows, which I just find absolutely beautiful. Barcelona was really where my love affair with jamón started. All started in this city, and the best one is jamón de bellota. That's the top quality, and the thing that's special about this ham is that the pigs are fed on a diet of only acorns for the last 4 months of their life. That makes the jamón very sweet, very nutty, and very fatty. That is so good.
come back to your most misunderstood neighbourhood. Here the air is thick with the scent of weed and the cheap perfume worn by those who work the barrios corners. The rhythmic clack of skateboard wheels and the buzz of nighttime bars echoes through the alleyways. You're a microcosm of cultural coexistence, where the neon lights of kebab joints are filled with hungry foreign residents, and a few creative tapas bars hide in your shadows.
The neighbourhood of Raval has changed a lot since I was here. So there are a lot of high-end tapas restaurants that have opened up, and the chefs are experimenting a lot. So traditional tapas, but with a modern twist.
El atún ibérico. Este atún lo tenemos crudo, pero marinado en grasa de jamón.
Grasa de jamón.
Sí. Tiene la textura del atún, pero el gusto del jamón. El gusto es 100% jamón. Antiguamente se usaba mucho la grasa animal para conservar pescados y es lo que hacemos básicamente en este plato. Les tiene un gusto muy intenso.
Muchas gracias.
Es una temperatura.
Oh my gosh.
Vale, vamos a ir con los pezones.
Wow. Controversial, decimos. Esto,
Consomé de jamón.
consume de jamón.
Esta receta es de un libro que se llama Recocinaria, que es de la época de
De los romanos.
Imperio.
Wow.
Entonces, es muchas recetas muy antiguas y esta era como de los platos que se reservaba para los patricios, que era la gente más rica de las ciudades romanas, que se reservaban para esta gente los pezones y las vaginas de las cerdas.
¿En serio?
Sí, son como las partes que solo se comía para la gente más rica.
La gente más rica comían esas partes.
Comían siempre confitado con aceite y ya está.
Wow. Well, it's certainly a gelatine-like texture. And this is a jamón consommé, so literally the fat of the pig, liquefied. And I must say, it kind of tastes like gravy. This is la bomba picante, spicy meatball. Apparently, it's one of the best dishes here. This is a fried aubergine, berenjenas con miel, no?
Yes. Always it's already.
Well, that is amazing. Oh my god, a little bit of honey.
El cochinillo es huesado. Tenemos toda la carne en todas las partes del cochinillo, la salsa es un jugo de los huesos y en la parte de arriba está la piel.
Perfecto, muchas gracias.
Perdone,
Oh my god, that is to die for. That skin on the top is so crispy. They've got it perfect. Passeig de Gracia is one of the most impressive roads in Barcelona. You find all the luxury and high street shops here. But what I love about it is just the buildings. They've got some incredible architecture, Gothic styles, Catalan modernism. One of the reasons I fell in love with Barcelona is because of Antoni Gaudi. He was a famous Catalan architect, and he was the one that really pioneered the Catalan modernist type of architecture. And he is responsible for designing some of the most iconic buildings on this road. So this one is Casa Batlló, which he designed, and it's just crazy because it looks like a building from like a fairy tale or something. He was very inspired by nature, so when he designed buildings, he always used those colour palettes. So this one kind of reminds you of the sea, and you've got these beautiful blues that he used. Absolutely beautiful. So this is my favourite Gaudi home. It's called La Pedrera, which means the stone quarry, and the facade is made all of stone. And what I loved about it is that it's just a very unique shape. So his typical style was never to use very straight lines, but more kind of curved. So you'll see it's almost like ripples and waves, and then these really intricate wrought iron terraces, which they just look fantastic against the white of the stone. But the best thing about it by far has to be the top, the rooftop. It's just an amazing view of the city and some just really funky Gaudi type shapes. The rooftop is what I love about this building. There's an amazing view of Barcelona, and you can see the Sagrada Familia, which was Gaudi's last masterpiece. It's kind of like a fairy tale up here, so he's really continued the style of the facade with all these cool structures. But for me, like, this is what really makes Barcelona such a special city, because you don't find this fairy tale like architecture anywhere else in Spain. And I just think Gaudi and Barcelona, they're so inextricably linked. It's something really, really special about this city. Muchas gracias. Something else I loved about living in Barcelona was the tapas culture. They have this term in Spanish which is called tapear, and the idea is go out, you order several tapas, have a drink, cerveza, a glass of wine with your friends, and it's just really amazing. And all around the city there are so many great tapas bars, and I love that here you sit at the bar, so they're like sentar en la barra, and it's just really cool because it's like you get to see them making the tapas, you're sitting next to everybody, and it's just such a unique thing about this city in particular. This is the best place to come and get seafood tapas for me in Barcelona. Everything is super fresh, and it was always my favourite place. So I've ordered gambas a la plancha, prawns, grilled prawns, calamar a la plancha, boquerones de vinagre, anchovies in a vinegar sauce. Oh my gosh. Boquerones de vinagre. So good. Almejas. Look at that. Gosh, these prawns are so juicy. This is the best Catalan dessert. I used to order it all the time. It's called crema catalana, and a lot of people think it's exactly like a creme brulee, and to be honest, they're very, very similar, but they flavour it with orange and cinnamon, so it's got kind of that citrusy flavour to it, which the creme brulee doesn't have. Oh my god, it's so good. Gotta love a crema catalana.
Barceloneta. You were born a sleepy fishing village. The Mediterranean Sea and the beating sun were your only friends. Life in your barrio consisted of cervezas by the bar in one of your tiny bodegas, followed by an almuerzo of fresh seafood paella. Catalan women gossiped while the old men took their siestas in one of your open-air plazas. But things have changed. 5-star hotels moved in. Catalan bodega boards gave way to laminated menus. And flip-flops and sunburns are the new kids in town.
It's in the back streets of Barceloneta that you'll find the best authentic spots to eat paella, especially the black paella. That's the local Catalunya dish. The reason why it's black is because of the squid ink, and that really gives it its colour. Always have to add alioli, makes this paella dish amazing. I add loads because I absolutely love alioli. I prefer it to the normal, the yellow paella that everyone knows. So good. I used to come to the beach all the time when I lived here, but it took me a while to start exploring the back streets of Barceloneta. And it's pretty amazing because this barrio is still very authentic and very local, and the residents are fiercely proud, and they want to protect their local life, and they don't want it to become this over-commercialized touristic place like a lot of other places in Barcelona have become. And so come here and it's throwing back to the old times, because it really, in a lot of ways, hasn't changed to when it was just an 18th century fishing village. ¿Y cuánto tiempo ha estado abierto este local?
14 años.
14 años. Oh, wow, okay.
Pero es el mejor local de toda Barcelona.
This is where I used to come every day during the summer when I lived here, during my year abroad, and I was doing an internship. And this is just a really cool place because it's full of young people, very much like a party scene. Barcelona is a young party city. But more than anything, it was just about the vibes of the beach, just being here with my friends, chilling out all day, just feels so free, like you can just do what you want to do, be who you want to be. A lot of the friends that I had when I was living here were also here temporarily, like as a student or doing an internship, so they're not here anymore. That's the thing about the city of Barcelona. If you're an expat, and you're going to find a lot of people that are in a similar situation to you. That's one of the things I love about it. It's very, very cosmopolitan and multicultural.
On Sunday mornings, the local barrios are slow to wake. Here, the Catalan form of brunch of sweet vermouth and salty tapas reigns supreme. But the old-school bodegas have been replaced with hipster bars, where the next generation discusses today's pressing topics: Catalan independence and the revival of vermouth as the aperitivo of choice.
This neighbourhood, Sant Antoni, is very local and authentic. It literally borders the historic quarter, but you don't have that craziness and you don't have all hordes of tourists. Wow, so this is the Mercat de Sant Antoni, and when I was living here it was under refurbishment. So it's finally finished and it's absolutely beautiful. It's a really good example of the modernist Catalan architecture at the time. It's also pretty cool because when they were excavating underneath, they found part of the old city wall. But that's what's so cool about the city. Like every single corner has amazing ancient history. Sant Antoni has really changed a lot since I used to live here. One of the things that has really taken off is the vermouth scene. Vermouth has always been something that's typically been associated with, you know, the older generation. I mean, they're the ones that used to enjoy it, but now it seems that hipsters have brought it back into fashion. La cultura del vermouth se ha como hecho muy popular, ¿no?
También era un producto que era muy poco asequible. Piensa que hoy en día vermuts buenos encontrarás en muy pocos sitios.
Ahora.
Porque todos son muy comercializados. Martinis, Aguirre, yo no. Yo tengo un vermut especial,
hecho en casero,
que tiene un trato diferente.
Es único,
o lo compras, ¿no?, aquí o no lo compras. ¿De acuerdo? Gracias.
Gracias. They always serve vermouth in these bars with very salty, traditional tapas, always serving it with olives and anchovies, like patatas bravas with a garlic sauce. The whole vibe of this neighbourhood has become a lot more cool and hip. So you have a lot of gentrification going on. I mean, the only thing is it's nice now because it's very local, but obviously I think the more cool places open up, the more that tourists inevitably are going to be hearing about it and probably going to be checking out this area. But it's really cool because it's very, very different to when I lived here. There was nothing really like this in this neighbourhood.
Thank you, Barcelona, for letting me walk your ancient streets again, taste the riches of your varied landscapes, and admire the architectural creations of your most gifted citizens. I promise I won't leave it so long next time.